And I'm now pleased to introduce the Executive Director of the World Trade Center St. Louis. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Tim Nowak.
How about that? Is that fun or what? Sarah, thank you for leading us through that. A shout out to my good friend Jason Van Eaton from Southwest Airlines and Don Bunkenberg from Lufthansa who made that possible. I cannot tell you how great it is to be back here in person for Growing Global. I am so proud of our team and the work that they do to keep the tradition alive. We had a star-studded virtual program, as Sarah mentioned, the past 2 years. But as she said, there is no replacing the energy and connections of being here together. Beyond Growing Global, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the World Trade Center and Mosaic Project team and their incredible resilience through the challenges of the past 2 years. Thank you. Stella Sheehan, Betsy Cohen, Sean Mullins, Susan Spitz, Suzanne Sierra, Karen Gentles, and Annie Mbale. You know them all. This is a team that takes the lead when necessary, and they work in strong support with many of you when asked. Just last week, the World Trade Center hosted a visit by the Chinese ambassador to the United States, Qin Gang. This was the first visit from the Chinese ambassador in more than 12 years. Important discussions were held around the subjects of climate-smart agriculture, river transportation and logistics, trade and investment, and people-to-people connectivity. Ambassador Qin, he even threw out the first pitch at the Cardinals baseball game, and I'm getting text messages from friends of mine in China who said, "Hey, St. Louis is trending in China." That's not a lie. The visit also gave us an opportunity to formally dedicate the new Chinese baseball statue, a thoughtful gift recognizing the 40-plus year sister city relationship with Nanjing, China. Now, if you were with us at Growing Global in 2019, you might recall that we were on our way to Nanjing to dedicate the first statue in the likeness of St. Louis Cardinal great Adam Wainwright. Now, with the strong support of the St. Louis Cardinals and the prominent placement of this second statue in Ballpark Village, we have connected our two cities with perfect symbolism. Baseball is obviously culturally significant to St. Louis, connecting our community through a shared experience of more than 130 years. Through this gift, we've invited Nanjing into that family. The statues were conceived by and funded completely through the work of the St. Louis Nanjing China Sister Cities Committee, led by Mr. Neil Perryman. Members of this committee are here with us today, and I want to take a moment and congratulate and thank them for their efforts to connect our community globally. Just as we need to share and connect our culture, we need talent from around the world choosing St. Louis as their home. Demographic trends tell us that one of the biggest opportunities for growth is the young, diverse Hispanic and Latino populations who are leaving cities like Dallas or Chicago or Fort Worth and going to Nashville, Orlando, and other peer cities. And they need to know that St. Louis welcomes them too. That's why the St. Louis Mosaic Project and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, in collaboration with Explore St. Louis, launched a digital pilot marketing campaign called STL Para Ti, St. Louis is for you. The STL Para Ti website includes a list of local job openings and information about sports and arts and culture and parks. This campaign highlights many local Latinos working at companies like Bunge, Midwest Bank Center, Cortex, and others, sharing how they too have been welcomed to our great city. These new additions to St. Louis will bring much needed skills and talent to further enrich our community and benefit its businesses. And speaking of benefiting our businesses, over the past 2 years, working with my colleagues, Jason Archer and Michelle Stuckey, and the others at the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, we've led the creation of a formalized business retention and expansion program. Our goal is to link regional companies who have already chosen to invest in St. Louis with the resources and the support to continue to grow and create jobs in this community. This effort is of particular interest to our work at the World Trade Center as we reach out to the more than 300 foreign-owned companies who call St. Louis home. Companies like Bayer, Millipore Sigma, Nidec, and Zeiss, just to name a few who are here with us today. Your important investments in St. Louis not only contribute to our economy, but also our culture and our global connectivity. More information can be found on the partnership website, including a short form to request a meeting with our BRE team. We welcome the opportunity to learn more about your business and also to help support your long-term success. In our work at the World Trade Center, we frequently talk about the 3 key equal ingredients necessary for any community to be a competitive global city: people, trade, and investment. We need talent from around the world. We need our businesses selling their goods in markets across the globe. And we need foreign companies investing in St. Louis. From our work connecting businesses to global markets, to our world-class support for foreign-owned companies and their global talent, the World Trade Center has placed a priority on global connectivity that will benefit this community long-term. In truth, when we talk about people, trade, and investment, what we really mean is talent, jobs, and economic growth. And no new connectivity will drive more economic growth than the launch of nonstop flights from St. Louis to Frankfurt, Germany. Industry research indicates that nonstop service to Europe adds $50 to $100 million per year to a region's economy. Tremendous regional collaboration led to this success. And the World Trade Center has played a meaningful role as well in the planning and the negotiations and the June 1st launch, including organizing a high-level delegation of 32 civic, economic development, and business leaders on that inaugural flight to Frankfurt, Germany. Take a look.
There is a renewed sense of optimism, confidence, and momentum that is unfolding in St. Louis right now. We are a resurgent city.
After 2 decades, St. Louis finally is directly connected to Europe.
And to St. Louis, I told you months ago to get your passports ready. Because now we are primed for takeoff.
A lot of our peer cities have direct flights to Europe, and we don't. And we need to stay on the cutting edge with all of our peer cities. And by having this direct flight, then when we actually are doing business retention, expansion, attraction, this becomes an asset that we can sell.
Not only is Frankfurt and Germany a target market for us now, but all the feeder markets that Lufthansa has in connecting cities throughout Europe. So this really opens up a lot of other countries that have cities that feed into the Frankfurt flight.
We've seen in the past when there's direct flights, it really helps unlock research, education, business, and tourism connections between cities. And so I'm excited for what this will also do for the Stuttgart-St. Louis relationship.
We are really excited about this direct connection because we actually have important innovation teams on both sides of the ocean. And the key also to find new solutions for agriculture is actually that they are closely connected.
The city of Stuttgart has been happy, fortunate, and proud to be the sister city of St. Louis for 62 years.
I'm delighted to have the opportunity to be on this delegation, meet new people who already want to collaborate, who've opened up their own contacts to make introductions for us.
It's a good way to be a good neighbor, right? You can invite people to your home and you can also go to their home. So coming over to Germany, both Frankfurt and Stuttgart, and learning from elected officials and civic leaders here, give us some ideas of what we can take back to St. Louis.
Well, I think given what's going on in the world today, it's very important that we have international relationships based on trust, on respect, commerce, and culture. It's important for us to have allies, important for us to have trade partners, and important for us to have folks that we can rely on and who can rely on us. So I see this St. Louis connection as fitting into that pattern of building this great democratic free West that believes in free markets and that wants to work together on our shared prosperity and our shared security.
You know, it has been nothing but open arms. It's been very welcoming, and and that translates into business and discussions and possibilities and opportunities.
It was super exciting to meet the winter here at the vineyard and to talk with him about some of the difficulties that he's facing with climate change, things that they're doing growing, and then to offer to connect him to our scientists at the Danforth Plant Science Center who are working on new technologies and new approaches to vitrology to help improve their crops.
To be on this flight with 30 government, economic development, civic, and business leaders celebrating this is just, it's very rewarding and very exciting for the future of St. Louis.
And the sky's the limit.